Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashai, Bahashem Rakakodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not by way of their forefathers' seeds, who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahawashai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as they are the ones who are suffering under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video is about the Mark of the Beast processor, which is a microchip. Alright, so here it is, another Mark of the Beast update. This time coming from the forehead portion. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." All right, so the mark of the beast is the microchip. It is available in both the hand and the forehead. The forehead is the brain microchip. The technology is out there, and people are being successfully implanted with this microchip technology. It is the mark of the beast. But the prophecy states that he causeth all, which means that the prophecy shall be fulfilled when the people who are in rulership, who are the so-called white people, who are the biblical Edomites, who are the wicked, when it is that their ruling class, who are the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, the elite bankers, make it mandatory worldwide, that's when the prophecy is fulfilled, and it will be them doing this. Okay, it is a part of their agenda for a new world, with transforming the world towards a society that is driven by technology, a digital society. They call it the fourth industrial revolution, and we are literally in it right now. Okay, so the mark of the beast is a microchip. And so we observe what is going on in the world regarding it. All right. As I previously said, the microchip technology is available both in the hand and in the forehead, which is that brain microchip. So what we're waiting for right now is for the prophecy to be fulfilled, where it is made mandatory worldwide. Right. And this event is very close to occurring, as we can see that the microchip technology is available both ways. People are successfully implanted with it. The point of sales machine accepts microchip implants. We're just simply waiting for the necessary systems to be put in place to allow it to go mandatory globally. You see? So with that, oh, and of course, unless you have it, you'll be shut out from society and everything society has to offer. All right. So here it is. China just approved its first brain implant for commercial use, a world first. All right. So I just seen this, that apparently about a month ago this came out. You know, I just searched brain chip, and it's bringing up information. Well, the most recent information that it's bringing up is regarding brain microchip development in China, which isn't something new. It's not new information. All right. We've been knowing that it's not only Neuralink that is developing the brain microchip. There are several other companies that are doing it as well. Over here in the West, you have as well Synchron. And then you have this guy, I believe he's the CEO of Steam or something like that. He is developing the brain microchip as well. And I think there may be another name that I'm not remembering, but two is plenty to show. And then over there in the East, you have multiple Chinese companies that are developing brain microchips. And it is, yes, the same exact brain microchip that Elon Musk is developing by way of Neuralink. Right? Developing, quote unquote. Okay? It's the same microchip. From the West to the East. From one company in the West saying they're developing it, the East is saying they're developing it and they're running a race with them and they're competitors. But when you look at the information coming out regarding both the brain microchips, it's the same exact thing, operated in the same exact way. So how is that then? If the technology wasn't just given to them. You see what I'm saying? Because, in a real world scenario, when you're developing something, you kind of want to diversify in a way to differentiate your product from the competitor's product, but the product that's being pushed out is the same exact product, same exact brain microchip product. But we know the agenda at hand. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. All right. So anyway, Neuracle, first time I'm hearing this one, because we know about Chinese companies developing brain microchips. And actually, there was a recent report that, now that it's the Lord is bringing it to remembrance, that there was something about one of these brain microchip companies going into mass production by the millions for these brain microchips. And why is that? Because they're preparing for the event when the microchip becomes mandatory worldwide. So they're going to need a lot of microchips. All right. But we know that their goal is that they want to cull the population down to 500 million. So perhaps they're going to manufacture enough microchips of that number. Who knows? We'll see. But the prophecy is going to be fulfilled, right? And people are going to be up in those lines, right? To get the microchip in order to eat in society, in order to get medical services in society, etc. And all of this is going to be occurring while there is famine and pestilence and great judgment from the Lord, which those things are on their way as well. Those are part of the beginning of sorrows. So, Neuracle Medical Technologies invasive brain-computer interface has been given the green light in China for people with partial spinal cord injuries. And that's the thing. When it is that the brain microchip came out into the world and was discussed, it was promised that this brain microchip would be able to do all kinds of things that are truly deemed miraculous in this world. There were promises that it would allow the paraplegics to walk, that it would allow the blind to see, that it would allow that people who can't communicate, that they would be able to communicate using the brain microchip. And all these things, man. And the thing about it is that they made good on their word regarding that, from a point of view of just, observing, right? Because the things that they announced that their brain microchip would be able to do, the brain microchip is doing those things. All right. So, like, for example, here,
yeah, I'm RJ. I'm P5, and I just.
So in this video, right, the dude, he got the brain microchip, and he's a paraplegic, and what he's able to do is, with the brain microchip, you can see it on the screen, literally. With the brain microchip, he's able to communicate with external technologies. With however the brain microchip works when it's implanted in the brain and how it communicates with the brain and everything with it, it is able to communicate with external technologies to be able to use those external technologies. For example, play video games. You see that? Now, if you're a video gamer, you fully and well understand the technicalities needed, the skill needed, the hands needed, you know what I'm saying, in order to really function and play. But here it is that they are able to, simply with a brain microchip, able to play video games. And this is one of these are parts of the things that they promise. So they're doing these things with the brain microchip that they said would happen, and now it's happening. In a world first, China has approved a brain implant for commercial use in people with spinal cord injuries, which means that this microchip is now for sale, commercial use. The device is a type of brain-computer interface brain microchip is made by the Shanghai-based company Neuracle Medical Technology, a potential rival of Elon Musk's brain-computer interface startup Neuralink. Brain implants have been used as a part of clinical trials for decades, but this is the first time such a device has been approved for broad use in patients, which speaks to the times we're in. Okay, things are becoming more loose. Things are becoming more accepted, regarding this microchip technology and what it's able to do, and the stage that we're at now where it is becoming, well, as you can see here, for commercial use, and also being put, as I mentioned before, in mass production in the millions to develop it. It's because we're moving towards the prophecy. That's why these things are happening. Okay, so brain-computer interfaces, brain microchips, sometimes known as brain-machine interfaces, are devices that record brain activity. Invasive brain microchips like Neuracle surgery are surgically implanted in or on the brain. They record electrical signals from neurons. Software then decodes these signals, which can be used to control a computer cursor or a prosthetic limb, for example. You see? And Elon Musk, with his Neuralink, he was saying that with the Neuralink brain microchip that they would be able to like move robot arms with it. They would be able to communicate with those technologies to be able to do things, right? So Neuracle's VTI consists of coin-sized wireless implant that sits on the surface of the brain's outer membrane and controls a robotic glove. It is specifically designed for people with spinal cord injuries, but is only approved for people who still have some upper arm function. BCIs in general are typically being developed for use by people with paralysis or other disabilities. Neuralink's Musk has talked about one day making them available to people with no health problems, but that application is farther off. All right, so when I read this article, I only read a little bit at the start, and I said, okay, I'm gonna use this. But I didn't read this, man. You see? So this is in fact a genuine reaction. Neuralink's Musk has talked about one day making them available to people with no health problems, but that application is farther off. So they're gonna make these brain-computer interfaces, these brain microchips, available for everyday people, man, which already is a thing. Now, I've mentioned this before in previous videos, that there is this black looking man, you know what I'm saying, a so-called black looking man. He did a video, he put it on social media. This was when it started to come out around with the U Miami patients, the one that I just showed. I believe it was around that time that he came out and he said that he has the Elon Musk brain microchip. Right? Now, he's not paraplegic, he's not suffering anything, he's walking up and down, normally as normally one can do, you know what I'm saying? And he said he got the brain microchip because he simply wanted to be able to test his vitals daily, because that's one of the things it does. It can test your vitals, it can measure and record your vitals and present a report of sorts. Yeah. Right? But he said that he got it, and that's what he got it for. But he's been extremely surprised when he said it, I'm talking like in the present before when he was saying it. He said that he's extremely surprised that at how developed it has become since he received the Neuralink brain microchip, because he's saying that, wow, now all of a sudden it has evolved beyond a point where he, when he first got it, the brain microchip, he thought it would just be up to that point. But he was saying how he's so surprised how it has developed and how it has evolved and how it has evolved so quickly as well, which we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Any technology that they be launching out in the world, they already been had it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a surprise that when this man got the brain microchip from Neuralink, that in a very small span of time, that suddenly it has evolved 3-4 stages. That's not a surprise, but it was a surprise for him. So he was surprised to be seeing that people are able to communicate, play video games with a brain microchip and these things. The video itself, I don't remember which video it is, but I know that I did it. I did the video on it, but I don't remember, but I'm just saying. So what the point of bringing this up is this: there are people who already have the brain microchip who just wanted it just cause, for whatever reason, like what the so-called black looking man said, right? But the part about his surprise with how it has evolved so quickly, but they already giving it to healthy people is another point that I'm making. They already giving it to people, and they are going to give it to healthy people eventually. Right here, everyday people walking around, they're gonna give it to those people, man, during crisis. All right, so this is where it's heading towards, man. The microchip is gonna be for everyone, as it says in the prophecy. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, and it's very close. Right now, we're simply just waiting for what? For the prophecy to be fulfilled. Because when you know that the mark of the beast is the microchip, you then look at the world and you look at the systems being implemented. You can call out those systems such as the digital ID and the central bank digital currencies, all right, which are, stepping stones toward heading towards the prophecy, right? You look at the digital public infrastructure, you look at the various different just systems. And then you look at over there in China and you look at how their system is developed technologically. And you can see that China and the system that they have up and running is a system that is ready for the microchip. So it has been test run in a way in China with like the city system of it all, right? And they have been developing central bank digital currencies and digital IDs all around the world. The microchip technology is available and successfully implanted into people. The signs are all there. All right, things are happening now where people are being blocked out of their bank accounts. In Jordan, unless they have a digital ID, they're going to be blocked out of public services. In Vietnam, last year they blocked millions upon millions of people out of their bank accounts unless they had a digital ID. Recently, it has come out that in America that this kind of thing is going to be occurring as well. So we're very close to the fulfillment of the prophecy, man, because the steps needed to happen, right, are taking place. Okay? And that's just what it is. Don't take the microchip because it is the mark of the beast. With that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kodesh, Shalom.